All right, guys, so we're going to be talking about chin-ups and pull-ups. These are a pretty popular exercise for building a lot of back strength. It's a vertical pull as far as movement pattern goes. And this can be a really tough exercise for a lot of people and can serve as, a long-standing goal, but also a worthy goal for many people. So we're going to be walking through different variations of pull-ups and chin-ups, how they change in emphasis based on execution, as well as ways that we can assist the variation in order to progress ourselves up towards that movement. So if we're talking about a pull-up specifically, we're going to be in a pronated grip. So that means our palms are going to be facing forward. And I generally encourage as much of getting those hands on top of the bar as we can. Okay? From this position, that's really going to lock in our grip and allow us to pull a lot better. So from here, if we're executing a full pull-up, we would want to be going from a complete hang here, try to limit swinging, and we want to pull all the way up until our elbows are at our sides. Now, this is a pretty difficult variation. In a lot of cases, that last range of the motion is going to be the most difficult to get to. So you can make it a little bit easier and place a little bit more emphasis on your upper back by leaning back into it slightly. So we can be right here and think about pulling our chest more towards the bar. For chin-ups, we're going to be going supinated grip, so that means our palms are going to be facing us. This is going to place a bit more emphasis on our biceps as well as our upper back, and it can be an easier variation for some people to execute. Same idea, we want a good grip, start from a full hang, pull those elbows right down to our side. Now, it should be noted that the hardest part of the movement is going to, again, be that last quarter, last third of the movement, because our lats are actually at their weakest when they're in that shortened position. So that first half of the movement is going to be the easiest part. Getting that chin, head, or chest, chin and head over the bar, or our chest all the way to the bar, is going to add another huge degree of difficulty to this movement. So if you're able to do a set of pull-ups, say a set of 10 pull-ups, and you can just get your chin over the bar, if you're to try that same movement, same pull-up where you're getting your entire head over the bar, getting the bar right to your clavicle, you may only be able to get 3 or 4. So execution of this exercise can really change the difficulty. Ways we can work up to it, a pretty good variation is using a TRX strap. If we just shorten this way up, now we can execute this in supinated, pronated, or neutral grip, which is a positive. And we can kind of use our own body to accommodate this resistance to amount that we can execute. So if we're down here, right, I'm getting a lot of help from the weight that is going onto my feet that are on the ground. I can even put my legs underneath me. I have to shorten them up even more. Can even get my legs underneath me and shorten that range, really focus on that end range. And give myself as much assistance as I need with that lower body. Another variation we'll use is going band assisted. Typically, the best way to do this is to put a band across the J hooks on the rack, okay? Rather than putting it up top and putting it underneath a leg. It tends to snap up, can be pretty painful sometimes if that band slips off. So for this, we'd be looking for that same setup, get a good grip in case of a pull-up. We're just gonna step right onto that band. And then execute the pull-up. The one main disadvantage to the band-assisted variation is that it gives us the most help at the bottom of the movement, which is the easiest portion. And it also gives us the least amount of help at the top, which is going to be the most difficult part. So the best way to build yourself up to doing a pull-up is really getting on those cables and doing a lot of pull-down variations to build a lot of strength in those lats, using a resistance that's constant through that full range of motion, and again, really focusing on that squeeze in the end range. Another thing you can do are eccentric pull-ups. These are great for building isometric strength around that end range. So you just use a bit of assistance to get yourself up to the top from a little jump. Try to limit swinging as much as possible. Hold for 2 or 3 seconds at the top, and then let yourself down nice and slow. And you can repeat this as many times as you need to.